Every morning at 4 a.m., while the entire world was asleep, one monk quietly changed his life forever. No money, no fame, no shortcuts, just one simple habit that gave him peace, discipline, and clarity most people spend their whole life searching for. But what happened during those silent mornings completely transformed the way he saw life, and it might change yours too. The monk sat quietly beside the old wooden window as the sound of rain softly touched the temple roof. His hands rested peacefully on his lap, and his eyes looked calm, but they had once carried years of confusion, stress, and emptiness. People think my life changed because I started waking up at 4 a.m. But the truth is, my life changed because I finally stopped running away from myself. There was a time when a monk was not peaceful at all. Before entering the monastery, he lived a life very similar to many people today. He constantly chased productivity, validation, money, and approval. Every day felt rushed. His mind was noisy even when the world around him was silent. He would wake up late, scroll endlessly through his phone, compare himself to others, and spend the entire day feeling behind in life. At night, he would promise himself, tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow always looked the same. One evening, after another exhausting day, he visited an old monk living near the mountains. The monk noticed the sadness in his eyes and asked him a simple question. When was the last time you sat alone with your thoughts without trying to escape them? The question disturbed him because he realized he could not remember. Every free moment of his life was filled with distraction. Music, noise, social media, endless conversations, endless scrolling. He was afraid of silence because silence forced him to face himself. The old monk then gave him one challenge. For the next 30 days, he said softly, wake up at 4 a.m. and sit with the sunrise before the world wakes up. At first, he almost laughed. How can waking up early change my life? He thought. But deep inside, something told him to try. The first morning was painful. The cold air touched his skin as he forced himself out of bed. His body felt heavy. His eyes burned with sleep. The world outside was completely dark and silent. He wanted to quit immediately, but he remembered the monk's words. Your mind will always fight the habits that can heal you. So he walked outside and sat beneath a tree near the temple. For the first time in years, he heard nothing. No notifications, no voices, no pressure, only silence. And strangely, that silence felt uncomfortable. His thoughts became louder than ever. Regrets, failures, fear, anxiety, memories he had ignored for years. He realized something important that morning. Most people are not tired because they work too hard. They are tired because their minds never rest. So every morning after that, he continued waking up at 4 a.m. Not to become more productive, not to become more successful, but to understand himself. Days slowly became weeks, and little by little, his life started changing in ways he never expected. He noticed how beautiful the world looked before sunrise, how peaceful the air felt when nobody was awake, how calm the mind becomes when it is not immediately flooded with noise. He started reading more, thinking more deeply, eating more slowly, listening more carefully, and for the first time in years, he stopped feeling rushed. One morning, while sweeping the temple floor, he suddenly realized something powerful. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your attention. Most people move through life without truly seeing it. They eat without tasting, listen without hearing, live without noticing. Their bodies exist in one place while their minds are somewhere else entirely. But the early morning taught him presence. It taught him that peace is not found in escaping life, but in fully experiencing it. Months passed. The monk became healthier, more focused, more emotionally balanced. But the biggest change was invisible. He no longer hated being alone. In fact, he started loving it, because solitude showed him truths that distractions could never teach. One cold morning, a young man visited the temple. The boy looked anxious and exhausted. He said, "I want to become successful. I want to stop feeling lost. Please teach me how to change my life." The monk handed him a cup of tea and asked, "What do you do every morning after waking up?" The boy answered honestly, "I check my phone immediately." The monk smiled gently. "That is where your energy goes before your soul even has a chance to breathe." The boy looked confused, so the monk explained, "The first moments of your morning quietly shape the rest of your life. If you begin your day with chaos, your mind learns chaos. If you begin your day with comparison, your heart learns insecurity. But if you begin your day with silence, gratitude, and awareness, your life slowly changes from the inside." The boy asked, "So waking up at 4 a.m. is the secret?" The monk laughed softly. "No, the secret is becoming conscious of how you live. Because many people wake up early, yet still live unconsciously. The real transformation begins when you stop living on autopilot, when you finally notice your thoughts, your habits, your reactions, your wasted time, your unnecessary anger, your constant need for approval, and slowly you begin choosing differently." The monk then looked toward the rising sun and said something the boy never forgot. "Every sunrise gives you two choices: to repeat yesterday or to grow beyond it." Years later, the boy became a teacher himself, and the monk grew older, but his routine never changed. Every morning at 4 a.m., he would wake up before the world, light a small candle beside his room, and sit silently in meditation as the sky slowly turned gold. Not because he wanted to escape life, but because he had finally learned how to live it fully. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Your life does not change in one dramatic moment. It changes quietly, in the small choices nobody sees. The decision to wake up with intention. The decision to sit in silence. The decision to protect your peace. The decision to become present. Because peace is not something you find someday in the future. It is something you practice every single day. So, tomorrow morning, before the world rushes into your mind, sit quietly for a few minutes. Listen to your thoughts. Watch the sunrise. Breathe slowly. And ask yourself honestly, am I truly living or simply repeating the same day over and over again? Because sometimes changing your life begins with waking up before the world does.
If you like this video, comment, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel.